Hi everyone, welcome back to the Self-Confidence Chronicles, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Christy, and I make videos about self-confidence, mental health, and lots of fun videos, and just all about living your best life. So I hope you'll stay and join me. Welcome to the Salt Caves. Recently I went for a session at a salt cave in the Tampa area, and I've actually been to the salt caves before when I lived in Illinois, and they're really good for allergies and respiration. They help you feel more energized. They're great for your skin, and they kind of help like relax and detox your skin. But I mainly go for the allergies. Every time I've gone, it really helps to clear up my sinuses. And as you can hear, I'm like really congested right now. So it's always really helpful when I go for one of those sessions. So as I was sitting there during my session, relaxing, I was just pondering salt and just the idea of it and the phrase, you know, taking things with a grain of salt. And it just kind of made me think about like, where did that phrase come from and how it originated, and why do we even say things like that? And also, what does it mean when we even take life with a grain of salt? So my inner therapist was coming out, and so I thought I'd make a video about it and just share a few of my thoughts. I had some time to look up really where that statement originated, and it was really fascinating. So taking things with a grain of salt actually was derived from a Latin phrase, and it goes back to the period of 63 BC when the Romans finally defeated Mithridates, which would be a ruler in which would be present-day Turkey. And apparently, he was a known ruler who was deathly afraid of being poisoned, and he spent a lot of time collecting information on poisons and how to use an antidote against them. And he supposedly tried them out in really small doses, hoping to build up an immunity. And so in some of his writings, he actually had made notes in there that when he would do this, he would take certain poisons with a grain of salt just to supposedly like change the taste of it and make it more tolerable. And hence that's where the term started, making things more tolerable with a grain of salt. And that phrase, that term, has apparently gone on for thousands of years. Even in modern day, we hear it, we use it. Even Mary Poppins uses it in her song, "A Spoonful of Sugar." The spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. It just makes everything a little bit easier. So with that origin or phrase, it goes with the idea that things are more tolerable if things are more easily swallowed if they are taken with a tiny bit of salt. So the story goes that after the defeat of Mithridates, Pompeius, who was the person who defeated him in Rome, found in his private cabinet a recipe for an antidote in his own handwriting. And it had something to the following effect: take 2 dried walnuts, 2 figs, and 20 leaves of rue, pound them all together with the addition of a grain of salt. If a person takes this mixture fasting, he will be proof against all poisons that day. So the suggestion goes that injury or harm can be moderated or improved by taking things with a grain of salt. And I think in today's world, we do tend to use that phrase a lot, taking things with a grain of salt, and we associate it with we need to take things and really think about them and understand that maybe not all things are true. I think this is a really good philosophy to live by in terms of managing our expectations and perceptions of the world. It goes along with, how could we take life with a grain of salt? What are some things that we could take with a grain of salt in our own lives? What are some things that maybe we could be taking too seriously, or we could rethink? And is that going to change or improve our lives? And when we do take things with a grain of salt, it allows us also greater insights, and maybe it allows us to have more insights and understand things at a deeper level that makes more sense to us and is more true to our values. So my challenge to you as a therapist is to think about, what are 3 things in your life right now that maybe you can start taking with a grain of salt? What are some things that maybe you might be taking too seriously, or you need to rethink? I hope you enjoyed listening to some of my thoughts and ramblings while I was in the salt caves. I would love to hear some of the things that you're willing to think about or take with a grain of salt in your life. And don't forget to let me know what they are and write them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for sticking around today. And if you'd like to see other content from me, check out my other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. And also check out my blog at the selfconfidencechronicles.com. I'm Dr. Christy, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.